All right, folks, so welcome back to episode 2 of the 65 Mustang Fastback restoration. What I'm doing today is, so far, I've just set up my laser, reshot, horizontally across the 2 front frame rails, and then now I've got it set up down the center of the car so that I can, measure left and right, symmetrical across the center for my firewall, and then the 2 apron pieces on the left and the right. So let me turn out the lights now and I'll show you what we've got set up. The first thing I'm doing here is getting the car set up all level, using my laser level, getting the frame rails on the same plane, because once I start cutting that firewall out and detaching these apron panels, the front of the car is going to want to drop. And so what I've done is I've set it up. I've got these RV jacks here that I can adjust very carefully. I've set up my laser level here, and that's why I'm in the dark here. I wanted to show you that I've got it set up so that it's right in the same plane, right along that front frame rail and all the way across here to the right side. Okay, so I've got that level. Let me turn on the lights now and show you the rest of the preparation so I can get my dimensions set. All right, so one of the things I'm done here, and I did this on my other car, the coupe, is I've got this tight wire here running down the center of the vehicle so that it gives me a good datum to measure off of and keep, my dimensions symmetrical. This is going to be helpful. I've already measured and laid out my dimensions here so that I can do diagonals from here back to the corner of the cowl, as well as from this corner down to a reference point here on this apron. And then I've got dimensions from here back to the cowl, and I've done a lot of that here, documenting where I'm at. And this is the diagram that the Liskey diagram that everybody's familiar with on the internet. But take this with a grain of salt. Some of it is very helpful, but I'm taking my own dimensions, documenting it. I have already run a 6-foot level across the inside here underneath these pinch weld points on the rockers. It's completely level left to right. It's completely level front to back. I've used the same level on the other side. So I'm set now, and I've got it pretty well stable with the floor jacks and with these RV jacks. And so the plan now is to start cutting out and drilling out some spot welds so that I can take out this firewall and take out these 2 apron panels on the left and right and get those replaced. And once I get that in and back welded and solid, I've got a new Monte Carlo bar, and I've got an export brace so that I can anchor these points on the car and keep it stable and straight. The cowl's in really good shape. On my 66 coupe, I had to replace the upper and the lower cowl as well as the firewall, but this one's in really good shape. So I think my cowl's good. And then back here again, I'll replace the entire floor assembly after I get this in. This will give me the stability up front, so I won't have any concern about cutting out the remainder of the floor section here. And then I'll bring in that new floor assembly and bring it in and attach it to the firewall as well as to the back. I'm going to start writing down some additional dimensions, and then I'll start set up some time lapse, and then just start cutting this bad boy out of here. All right, so guys, what I did was I went around, used a center punch here, and basically just center punched each one of the spot welds that I could recognize, and then went around with a little, maybe a 1/8 inch drill bit, and kind of, in addition, kind of drilled each one of the spot welds just slightly, just to give me a better alignment for my cutter tool that I put in my drill, and then went through and drilled pretty much all of the spot welds that I could recognize. So being as the fact that I'm not going to replace the cowl, I want to gingerly kind of separate the cowl from the firewall. I'm probably going to run into some other welds that I didn't see once I get to them. So I'm a little concerned about using my air hammer to hit these things, because I don't really want to mess up the cowl, but I may use a combination of the air hammer and maybe just a little bit of a chisel and hammer. So let me get at that and see if I can't separate this firewall from the cowl. All right, so looks like I've got it separated, and I could have done it a lot faster, like you say, with an air chisel. And I've got, you can see I've got access to air right here, but I really didn't want to damage this cowl. It's in pretty good shape. So I've got it separated here. I didn't want to totally detach from the firewall yet, these apron pieces, because that's going to give me an exact location to reattach the new pieces. So eventually I'll cut these off, trying to protect the pieces I want to keep. So obviously I'm going to be attaching here to the shock tower. So I'll drill out each one of these holes on both sides, and then like I say, I'll probably take my plasma cutter and just rip all along here, and then I'll be drilling out these welds here on the cowl side panels on each side. So anyway, more drilling and more chiseling. Okay, so I've drilled my spot welds here on the driver's side. I just want to show you what I'm doing and how I'm going about it and what my intent is here on this side. Let me just recap. I drilled out all along the top of the cowl here on the front with the intent of just separating the firewall from the cowl, and I've successfully done that. And I didn't use my air chisel because I really didn't want to damage this side up here. I may end up putting a few more holes along here just to space them out, or just if I see where the factory missed a few, but for the most part, so my intent is I wanted to protect this portion, and I'm leaving this here because I want to maintain where I'm connecting. I've got to drill out a few more here and then all along here, okay, to separate the firewall. I just completed drilling out these all along this driver side apron piece here, okay, and you can see where that comes apart. Here I'm planning just to use my plasma cutter and just kind of rip that piece off there. That way I don't have to drill out any attachment to the firewall. The firewall and this piece are all going to be removed. I'm also going to go ahead and take these pieces off because I've got a export brace that I'm going to mount here, and I don't really want to use these and have them sticking out. So here's the new piece that's going to replace it. This is from Dynacorn. And I will end up having to, I've got an air punch that'll punch my holes along here. Likewise, I'll punch my holes here, you know. The other thing I'm going to do, and I'll just show you on this side over here, you know, this is the part of the VIN here that's on these apron pieces. Same thing on that side. And so my intent is to cut out this number and splice it into the top of this apron on both sides. I can maintain the integrity of the car. I do have a clean title for this car. Additionally, I've got you know, the number here, you know, it shows you that it's a Fastback and it's an A code. So I'm not replacing this particular panel. So really what I'm doing is replacing each of these next to the Firewall. If I'm fortunate today, before it turns dark, hope to be able to get that Firewall separated. Let me get going. I'll come back to you in a minute once I get this apron piece detached. All right, so I got this piece out. I've got to clean this up, and I've got to take a piece of sheet metal, and I'm going to patch this portion of the frame rail. It's really just a flange that the new apron piece plug welds to. So I'm going to clean that up. I've got another little gouge out here for some reason. I'm not sure. The previous owner, I think what they did is they probably used a oxyacetylene torch. They cut this hole, and then they probably cut into the top of the frame rail there. That's the only thing I can figure. But this entire hole here, I think, was access to get to this steering box for whatever reason. So, yeah, so let me clean this up. I'm going to take off the other side. I'm keeping this here so that I can maintain a good dimension on the new apron, on the new Firewall. And I'll know exactly where it attaches to the new Firewall. So this extension piece, I'll cut these off right before I need to put the new ones on, so I maintain their location. Anyway, let me get this other one off, get it cleaned up, and then I can probably take and cut this Firewall out all the way. Okay guys, so I've made some progress here on the 65 Fastback. I'm about ready to take the Firewall out, so let me show you what I've done in preparation here. All right, so I removed the apron on both sides, here and here. And additionally, I've done some, you know, grinding and preparation. I removed the two short pieces here for the braces because I'm using a one-piece export brace here. So I removed those two pieces. Done a little bit of prep here and grinding as well down here. I've marked here where I'm going to be attaching the apron piece again to get it in alignment with the cowl. Down here, I remember showing you a spot where I think someone had come in with a torch and cut a big hole here. And I'm going to patch that in before I put the new apron piece in. So basically, I've come around and drilled out the Firewall from these side rocker pieces, or these side cowl pieces. And this now, it kind of reveals how bad the Firewall was, specifically where the apron was attached here. It had some pretty gaping rust holes through it. And, you know, I could have patched this section, but when I came over here, this is pretty grody here. And then down inside, the Firewall had been cut up way up into the toe board, pretty close to where the steering column goes through. So rather than trying to patch that, patch this toe board, you know, patch that section of the Firewall, it made sense just to go ahead and put a new Firewall in it. So I've drilled out where it was attached here to the frame rail. Again, this side was already out when I bought the car. I went ahead and just took my air chisel and cut this out across here. So this firewall should be pretty loose now. I should be able to, with a little bit of effort, just kind of pull it out. So I'm gonna set up the camera here and see if I can't get it to come out. Okay, that takes care of that. So now you can see the front end is totally detached, other than just the short transmission tunnel frame. But I do have really good dimensions. I was very careful to take good dimensions so that when I get the firewall back in and these apron pieces, I can get it lined back up properly. So, you know, I watched Peterson, I've watched Joe Daddy, I've watched several of the guys that have videos out there that do this kind of thing. And over and over and over, it's measure, 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 and trial fit, trial fit, trial fit. All right, so let me see if I can get this cleaned up now and get it prepped, ready to trial fit the new firewall. Looks like there's plenty of room to bring that floor assembly in place without touching the firewall down here. So it'll slide right up into place. It's just that I won't do any welding basically from here down. I'll just weld the top, a couple of plug welds along the side of this cowl panel. I may want to trial fit these apron pieces before I do anything as well. Okay, let me assemble all that and we'll get back with you. All right, so I got these apron panels just kind of clamped into place. I just want to look and see where they all touch. Maybe run a few screws into where I think these pieces need to go. And I've still got a whole lot of prep before I can actually put this thing in permanently. And then, like I say, come down here and take a black magic marker or black Sharpie and mark where I need to be drilling my holes for my plug welds. And then prep it, weld prep it, put the primer back on it. And I really need to see some progress, and you know, it's really satisfying to get to a point like this. So I'll end this video here. Guys, if you like this content, please subscribe. I appreciate your help here. I've got a lot of the products I use from Amazon. I'm an Amazon affiliate. I've put links down in the description of this video. If you feel like you want to buy any of these things, go out there and buy them. Doesn't cost you a dime more than you would normally spend. It just allows me to get a buck here or there to help me produce these videos. Guys, thanks for coming along for the ride. Comment, give me some pointers. Again, I'm a rookie at this. Enjoy doing it, having a great time. If this is content that's interesting to you, please let me know that. If you've got a car that you're working on, tell me about it. I'd be interested. Let me know where you are in the country or in what country and where you're watching from. I'd appreciate it. All right, well, next time me and Roxy get out on the road or we get out here in the garage and work, I hope you guys come go with us. Guys, please be on the lookout for a couple of different playlists here as I go through the restoration of my 66 coupe as well as this 65 Fastback. Hope these are things that you're interested in. Let me know in the comments. If it's not, you think I need to split this off into a separate YouTube channel, I appreciate your input. Really don't want to dilute those that are chasing content related to Harleys and motorcycle riding and the culture there. But again, I appreciate your input. Please let me know, and when me and Roxy get out on the road to take a ride, camp, or when we get into the garage for a little therapy, hope you guys will come along and go with us.